Okay, so I welcome you all for the classes of big data. Okay, so yesterday we have studied some of the basic languages, even I can say tools. Okay, with respect to Hadoop distributed management system. Okay, so the tools are like Pig. You know why we are going to go for a Pig. Okay, so Pig is very efficient kind of a scripting programming language where to be telling the application, if you write 200 lines of Java code, that can be reduced to only 10 lines in the Pig. Okay, that's the beauty of the Pig. And if people studied about the Scoop, okay, what is the purpose of a Scoop? Okay, the Scoop is again a tool that is used to design a transfer of data between Hadoop and RDBMS and RDBMS to Hadoop. This is the best example people can see. So I am importing the data from RDBMS and storing in HDFS. I'm exporting the data from HDFS and storing in RDBMS. This is how the Scoop works. Okay. So even you people know both Scoop import and export. Okay. In case of a import, you just map the data to HDFS storage. In case of export, you are going to take the data from HDFS storage and you are going to store that in a RDBMS. Okay, so some of the versions of the Scoop 1 and Scoop 2. Okay, there are two versions. Okay, some of the contents are going to be supported by
Okay.
and some of the contents are going to be supported by version 2. Okay, coming back, let us study about your today with the topics like Scoop, Flume, and OZ. If possible, we are going to go up to OZ. Okay, so Scoop. Okay, how you are going to work on the Scoop? You need to have a Hadoop cluster. Keep it in your mind to work on any of this ecosystem. It may be a Pig, it may be a Hive, it may be a HBase, it may be a Scoop, it may be what I can say Oozy, it may be Flume. Okay, whatever ecosystem you want to work, you should basically should have a cluster. Above the Hadoop cluster, I'm going to tell Hadoop. Okay, there may be any cluster, but basically we study about the Hadoop. Okay, so above the Hadoop cluster only you people are going to work. Now the Hadoop cluster is like a platform. Okay, Hadoop cluster is like a platform. Above this platform only you can work with all these ecosystems like what I can say, Scoop, Pig, Hive, HBase. Okay, so the following example illustrate the use of Scoop. Okay, where first what you need to do is you need to download the Scoop. Okay, then you download the sample MySQL data for the Scoop. Okay, and take the permission from the local machine. And basically you will do two operations with the Scoop. Okay, what are the two operations? You people know the two operations are very simple. You are going to import the data from RDBMS and store in centralized storage, that is nothing but HDFS or Hive or HBase. Again, you are going to export the data from HDFS, Hive or HBase, and you are going to transfer the data to the RDBMS. This is how the things works in case of a Scoop, and that is what you people are going to do with respect to that of a Scoop. Okay, so coming back, what is the first step? The first step is to download the Scoop under the local and load that into a simple data MySQL database. If you have not done any Scoop installation, kindly do it. Okay, so how to do the Scoop installation? It's very simple. First you need to create a cluster. Okay, and keep it in your mind, Scoop is going to work with a single node. No need of multiple nodes. Okay, you create a cluster, you create a single node. On that node you can install the Scoop. Okay, so how to install the Scoop, the HDFS, that is Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so you need to do a command yum. What's the purpose of this yum? Okay, why yum? This consists of all the packages that is required, okay, to install the Scoop. Not only Scoop, any other languages, yum is a command which is going to help you to install with the packages. Okay, why yum?
Okay.
So what is the purpose of yum? Yum is nothing but it is a command which is going to help you to install with the packages. What kind of a packages I required? I required the package of RPM. What is the meaning of RPM? Red Hat Package Manager. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell yum install Scoop. Okay, space Scoop hyphen metastore, which is going to help me to install all the Scoop operations. Okay, all the Scoop operations. Okay, that's the interesting part with respect to that of a scoop. Okay, so this is all about the scoop. Okay, I'm telling you, really, you have to try this ecosystems. I'm telling really, you no need of anybody's help except YouTube. Okay, first of all, install the cluster. Okay, install the cluster. With the cluster, you people try to add, okay, big language, Hive, and Scoop, everything. Okay, and even it's not so difficult because Scoop is only a single node in your cluster. Okay, even the Scoop is going to act like a entry point. Okay, entry point for the client. Okay, where the client is going to store and access the data. Okay, so coming back, we are going to study about one more language, ecosystem, I can say, of your HDFS. More than language, they are all the ecosystems that is present. Based on the requirements, user can use either Pig, user can use either Scoop, user can use either Hive. Okay, so whatever he needed, in the same fashion, we are going to have a Flume. Okay, the full name of the Flume is nothing but Apache Flume. Okay, again, what is this Apache Flume? Apache Flume is a tool, okay, which is going to it's a mechanism which is going to keep track about the data. What kind of a data? Streaming data over a Hadoop cluster. Okay, that's a very important. Streaming data, the data which is in motion. Okay, up to now whatever discussed, Scoop helps you to store the data. What kind of the data? The data which is constant. Okay, somewhere you're going to take the data from RDBMS and you are going to store in a centralized storage. Guys, can you see here? This is centralized storage. What I can say, Hadoop file system and HDFS. This is centralized storage. This is RDBMS. You're just transporting the data from here to here, here to here. That for that kind of purpose you are going to use the Scoop tool. Okay, but when you come for Flume, Flume is having its own unique feature. What is this unique feature? Again, a Flume is a tool, okay, which is going to have a mechanism of transporting large amount of streaming data. Streaming data means the data which is not constant. Okay, so can you tell me the example, the data which is not constant? The very important example for the data which is not constant is log files. Whatever the activity is going to happen over a Hadoop network is going to be keep track about the log files. Okay, people can see, you people were going to have a history in your Google Chrome. Okay, that is what a log history. What you are going to search, what you have login. Either you can have a passwords. Okay, even you can have a passwords. Okay, so as we are discussing, okay, so streaming data. Okay, where the streaming data comes from? Basically, the streaming data comes from a log files. Okay, and events. Log files, huge amount of data comes from the log files because you are not dealing with only one node. You people are dealing with thousands of nodes, and every node does some activity. Okay, and even from the various sources to a centralized data storage. And Flume is really highly reliable. That is why they are using the companies like Hadoop, okay, companies like Yahoo, companies like Facebook, companies like Twitter, and companies like what I can say, LinkedIn. They are all using these ecosystems. Okay, Flume is highly reliable, distributed, and configurable tool. Okay, its basic principle is designed to copy streaming data. Okay, the best example for streaming data is nothing but the log files. Okay, because there will be not only a one single server, there may be a various web servers. From that you have to copy. But the main challenge in handling the log data is nothing but moving this log, okay, produced by multiple servers. Can I show you the multiple servers? Yeah, just a minute. I will show you the multiple servers. Yeah, so people can see this is a multiple servers, web servers. Okay, now every web server is transmitting a streaming data. Now it is very difficult to keep track about which server is sending what kind of the data. Okay, that's a very big challenge. Okay, so to overcome this challenge, Hadoop file system provides a command to insert the data into Hadoop and read. Okay, so can't do anything. Okay, so that's what I was discussing. To hold such kind of a data, to copy such kind of a streaming data, we are going to make use of a command in a Hadoop, and that command is nothing but put command. Okay, so how you are going to see there is a command console, command prompt. You are going to write Hadoop space fs minus put and slash path, means to which path you need to copy the command, copy the data. Okay, basically what is the data? That's a log file of data. You people know, you people are going to browse Facebook, you people are going to browse Twitter, you people are going to browse LinkedIn, every log data of you, what activity you have done should be stored. Okay, even not only this kind of a content, even Amazon. Okay, even Amazon, because you have purchased past 10 years ago, the content will be there. Are you understanding? So that's the purpose. What we are going to do, Hadoop space fs minus put slash path. This path is going to tell us to where the log file should be copied. That's how the HDFS. But some problems are there with the put command. Okay, what is the main major problem is nothing but a put command. We can only transfer only one file at a time. Okay, because while the data is generators are going to keep on generating the data. Who is a data generator here? Who is basically a data generator nowadays? All your social medias are the data generators. All your shopping sites, e-commerce, they are the data generators. Are you understanding what is the meaning of a social sites? Your Facebook is a data generator. Your Twitter is a data generator. Everything is a data generator. But here there is a problem. Okay, because what is the problem is nothing but the rate in which the data is going to be generated cannot be copied at the same rate. Are you understanding what is the meaning of copied? Okay, you are going to store the data generator by the put command. Okay, you need to store very fastly, but that is not matching at all, and you can only copy only one file at a time using a put command. That's a drawback. Okay, and the second drawback is, okay, the data needed to be packaged and should be ready for the upload. But what is the problem is the rate of data generating is very fast when we compare to that of the rate of writing the data in the backend. Writing is nothing but copy using a put command. Okay, so these two are very major problems in case of put command. These two are very major problems. So what we need here is a solution that can overcome the drawbacks of put command. Okay, to transfer streaming data. Basically, you people assume Flume is used to copy the streaming data. The best example of the streaming data is log files. Okay, from data generators to the centralized stores. Okay, so what is the available solutions? The available solutions are like Facebook Scribe. It's a very good application. If you remember your cloud computing, I have told about Apache Kafka. Okay, Apache Flume. These are all the very efficient solutions for these problems, which helps to read and write the data very fastly. How they are going to help? They are going to hold the data in the buffer. Okay, they are not going to reject the data. Instead, that they are holding the data into the buffer. We will see more about this in the upcoming slides. Okay, so assume an e-commerce web application wants to analyze the customer behavior. Okay, so you people assume customer behavior means what I used to tell is you people have searched something into your Google Chrome. You have logged into the Gmail. Okay, you have searched something into the Google Chrome. The same thing is going to reflect into the Amazon. If you believe me, if you check out this is nothing but the behavior of the customer. Okay, so that is going to be analyzed using this Flume kind of the language. Okay, to do so, they would not move. What we need to do is at that time we need to move the log data. Means notification will come. You try to book this item, you have not booked it. You have come across such kind of the things? Okay, at that time, what this Flume is going to do, it is going to take the streaming data, it is going to convert the streaming data into notification and move that log information to the customer to remember him that yes, you are trying to book something, we have not done, you are in an immediate step, kindly book it. This is how the things goes with respect to that of the streaming data. That's a live data. Okay, Flume is used to move the log data generated by application server into HDFS at very high speed. Okay, because higher speed the data should come, because the data is coming from Twitter, Facebook. It's a huge amount of data. Okay, what are the advantages of using the Flume? Using Apache Flume, we can store the data into a centralized storage. Okay, see, this is how the two things goes. Here also I'm using Scoop tool to store the data into centralized storage. Instead of Scoop tool, I'm going to use here Flume. Okay, I'm going to use the Flume to store the data instead of the Scoop. Okay, so that's a very first advantage. The second advantage is the rate of incoming data exceeds the rate at which data can be written. I told you already. This is a very big problem. So what the Flume is going to do, because you will see the application is Apache Flume. Okay, why? The rate of coming data. If can I show you with the diagram? for the better understanding. Okay, fine. So this is how the rate of data it is generating. So the rate of data is very, very high. And what happens, it should be stored into the centralized storage. This is centralized storage. Now, see, keep on throwing something to a particular person, he cannot catch at the time. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If you throw some input continuously to a person, he cannot catch. So what I need to do, if you make a person any other content, if you are going to make you stand here, okay, for example, this is one who is helping you to catch the data, and then you are transferring the data, then it is going to become very, very easy. Are you understanding my point of view? Then it can transfer the data whenever it is free. That is what the Apache Flume is going to do. The rate of data generating by your what I can say data generators is very high. Okay, so you cannot directly store at that speed into your what I can say centralized storage. So what the thing happens is the mediator is going to be there, and that mediators is nothing but these are the mediators. And here we are discussing about Flume. So Apache Flume is also a mediator, right? Are you guys understanding? That's the second advantage. And Flume provides the feature of contextual routing. Okay, contextual routing. What is the meaning of this word contextual routing? It is some part of intelligence, artificial intelligence. Okay, so that is also going to be provided by the Flume. And the Flume consists of a channel where it is going to act like a temporary buffer, which is going to hold the data. That is what I told you, like a mediator. And Flume is reliable, fault tolerant, and scalable. Okay, Flume is very reliable, fault tolerant, and scalable. Okay, so the following things you people see: data generators. You know what is the meaning of a data generators? They are nothing but Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. They are all data generators which are going to generate the data. And Flume is the one which is going to collect the data, that is going to act like an agent. Flume is going to act like an agent. And then what you are going to do? All the data by means of an agent, it is going to be stored into a HDFS or HBase. If people believe me, centralized base is nothing but Hadoop base or Hadoop distributed file system. You can see here through the diagram. Okay, so whatever the data generated by the data generators, either it may be a log or an event. Okay, that is going to be captured by the Flume. Here Flume is going to act like a tool which is going to try to match like a mediator between the data generator and centralized storage. Why the mediator is needed? That's a very, very important question. Why the mediator needed is nothing but the rate of generating data is very high. Okay, you are coming the data, for example, the data is coming from Facebook, the data is coming from Twitter, the data is coming from web servers, the data is coming from the cloud. How to handle directly, how I can store everything onto the HBase, Hadoop base, or centralized storage? That's a very, very big question. So what happens here? The Flume is going to take an important role, which is going to act like a mediator, which is going to hold the data for a time being, and then it is going to transfer the data whenever it is free. So this is how the things goes with respect to the data. Flume, very, very important thing. Flume is going to act like a mediator, right? Sorry guys, understanding. So this is one more thing. Okay, see, there is a web server. Even you can have a multiple web server and source and a channel, sync, and HDFS. This combination of source, channel, and sync is nothing but called as a agent. Okay, so we'll see what is the meaning of a source, what is the meaning of a sync, what is the meaning of a channel. Are you guys understand? These three are very, very important, guys. Source, sync, and channel, web server, HDFS. That is what it is doing here. That is what it is doing here. But it is a clear picture of a Flume. Are you understanding? It's a clear picture of a Flume. Okay. So inside a Flume, what will be there? This is a clear picture inside a Flume. Can I add? Okay, Flume. Inside a picture of a Flume. Okay. So what all the things will be there inside a picture of a Flume? The things will be like web server, source, channel, sync, HDFS. Okay, so let us see everything. The same diagram. Don't worry. There will be a data generator. Even if you can have a multiple agents, okay, which is going to collect all the data collector, and then you are going to store in a centralized stores. Okay, centralized store is nothing but here again HBase or Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so data generators are nothing but Twitter and Facebook, LinkedIn, all the social networking sites, your e-commerce sites, everything are data generators. Who are the agents? Agent consists of a source, channel, sync. Okay, so can you understanding what are the things? Anybody can answer me if you are connected to me. Agent means what? Agent consists of what the things? Can anybody answer? I believe you people are hearing me. Agent consists of what all the things? Can anybody answer? Anybody unmute and answer me. Agent consists of what all the things? Hurry up. A particular agent in a Flume consists of three things. What are those three things? Anybody? Vidya? Varshini? Anyone can answer me? No. Okay, agent consists of three things like source, channel, and sink. Okay, so here there may be n number of agents. Here there may be n number of agents. Okay, every agent consists of these three things. Okay, source, sink, and channel that are going to send to a data collector, and from data collector it is going to send to a centralized stores. Okay, when I say centralized stores, again the centralized store consists of a HBase and Hadoop. Okay, so what is the work of a agent, Flume agent? It is an independent daemon process. Okay, like your Java virtual machine. It receives the data from the clients or other agents and forward it to next destination. Okay, the next destination may be a sink, or it may be a channel, or it may be a source. Okay, every Flume may have more than one agent. Obviously, I have seen here. Okay, every Flume may have more than one agent. So, what is the work of a source? Source is a component of an agent which receives the data from what? Data generators. Can you see here? Source. Source is a component of a agent which is going to receive the data from the data generators. Even the web server is also a data generator. Instead of web server, here there may be a Facebook. Here it may be a Twitter. Here it may be a LinkedIn. Okay. So are you guys understanding? So that is what, and it transfer it from more than one channel in the form of a Flume event. I told you there are two things very important. The data is transmitted either in terms of events, or it is going to be transferred in terms of a log data. Okay, so basically, yeah, Apache Flume supports several types of sources. Okay, so coming back to channel, I told you channel is a transient store. What is the meaning of a transient store? It's not a permanent store. Means it is going to act like a buffer. Okay, and it is going to time beingly store the information. Okay, transient store which receives the event from the source, and then it is going to act like a buffers, and then it is going to act like a bridge between the source and a sink. See, it is going to act like a bridge between the source and a sink. Okay, it is going to act like a temporary buffer. Okay, it is a channel media. Okay, it is going to act like a bridge between the source and a sink, and it is going to timely hold the information that is nothing but temporary information. So I am going to call it as a transient information. Okay, transient information, right? So these channels are fully transactional and they can work with any number of sources and things. I cannot say only one source and one things. There may be n number of sources and n number of the things. Here the example of sources all Facebook, okay, Twitter and all. Here the example like maybe a JDBC channel, file system channel, and memory channel. Okay, then comes the third part of your agent, that is sink. Okay, what is the work of a sink? Sink stores the information into the centralized store. See here. Okay, sink is going to store the information to the centralized server. If you can see, sink SDFS or HBase, it's a centralized server. So sink stores the information into the centralized server. Okay, so here again it consumes the data from the channel and deliver it to the destination. Okay, and you people know once the data is going to be stored into the centralized storage, the Flume work is going to get completed. Okay, the work of the Flume is going to get completed. Even you can set multiple agent flow. Okay, you people know, you people have seen only one single source, okay, one sink and one channel. Okay, that's a part of a one agent. And here very one more important thing is you people have, if the data is of Avro type. What is the meaning of a Avro type? The Avro type consists of null values, Boolean values, integer values, floating point values, double values, bytes values, string values. That is very important. because you people have dealing with the database, you people know only characters, strings, arrays, maximum. But nowadays, now you people are studying big data. When you are studying big data, you people should know the information such as what I can say, map, tuple, and one more important thing is bag. These are the different kinds of data types that is going to be present in case of big data kind of a content. Okay, so coming back, so how to set a multiple agent flow or multi-agent flow. Okay, you people know we should have a multiple hops. Okay, and you people can store that information using the host name or the port name. Okay, let us see with the diagram. Okay, so this is how people can see setting multiple agent flow. What is the meaning of Avro? You people know. Okay, source sync. Okay, multiple data is coming. Avro is nothing but it's a different kind of the data which is of type null, boolean, int, long, float, double, byte, strings. Okay, so these are different kinds of the data. And the last concept here is consolidation. Okay, what we need to do is the data is coming from more than one servers. Okay, from different data generators. We need to consolidate such data. Okay, a very common scenario is nothing but log collection is a large number of log producing clients sending data. Okay, lot amount of data is coming. Somebody's you people are browsing two things at a simultaneous. For example, people are using Gmail in a one tab and you people are using Facebook in a one tab. And whatever you people are using, everything is going to be uploaded into the cloud. Now you only believe that you people are using more than one tabs and how much number of log data is generating in your single browser. Okay, so such data should be consolidated. So how they are going to consolidate the data? Nothing but based on the tier. Okay, they are going to consider first tier agents. Okay, and they are okay. Yeah. So as I was telling, they are going to consist of a first tier agent and second tier agents. Okay. So you need to consolidate all the data. See here, the data is coming from different web servers. Okay. Every web server is going to have its own agent, agent 1, agent 2, agent 3, agent 4. All the data should be consolidated and then it is going to be stored into the SDFS. Okay. So all three agents data is stored in the fourth agent data. And from there, it is going to be stored into the SDFS. This all three agents data is stored in a agent 4 data is nothing but called as a consolidation. Okay, because they are coming from different web servers. Okay, and then you need to consolidate. For example, now I am having an account, Facebook account. Okay, all the whatever I browse from, whether it may be a mobile, it may be a laptop, or it may be iPhone, or it may be some cloud. Wherever I am browsing the data, it should be consolidated and stored here because there is only one account that I am using the data. But the means of storing, means of browsing the data in a different ways. Either I am browsing from mobile, either I am browsing from laptop, either I am browsing from tab. Okay, so this is how the things comes. But since I am a single user, I need to consolidate my data. I need to store the data because I'm using the account from ASIC only. Are you understanding? So that is how the consolidation is going to work. Okay. So how much time I am having? You have any idea? I need to start with the hype. Today there was a lot of network failures. I don't know what's the reason. Okay. It was showing the time. Okay, people writing the assignment, keep on write the assignment. Okay. So 12:10 was the time, still I'm having. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so this is how about the consolidation. Now let us see the one more ecosystem. Okay, one more ecosystem in Apache, that is nothing but Hive. Okay, Hive is a data warehouse infrastructure tool. You know what is the meaning of a data warehouse? Where actually all the data is going to be stored. Okay, so you people will see from the beginning. Okay, you people can see here from the beginning HBase or Hive. Okay, it is nothing but going to act like a centralized storage. Any diagram you people can see. I'm going to show you. Wait. Okay, when I'm saying yeah, people can see here, this is centralized storage. Either it may be SDFS, Hive, or HBase. Hive is a data warehouse. Are you understanding? What is the meaning of a data warehouse? It is a centralized place where all the data is going to be stored. Okay, so that is nothing but called as data warehouse. Okay, so what is the purpose of the Hive? Okay, let us see. The name is like Apache Flume, and similarly one more name for Hive is Apache Hive. Okay, so Hive is a data warehouse, which is an infrastructure tool that is used basically to process structured data. Means the data is coming from the different places. Okay, but whenever it is stored in a particular centralized storage, it is going to be stored in a structured matter, in a structured manner. Okay, it is not going to be stored in an unstructured manner. So it is going to be used on the top of Hadoop system. Okay, initially Hive was developed by the Facebook. Okay, but later this Apache Software Foundation, they have taken the Hive, they have upgraded many things into the Hive, many new versions, many content, many work process, and then later what they have done, they people are have named them, instead of Facebook, Apache Hive. Okay, even your Amazon, they are using the Hive concept to store the data. That is nothing but two important things, EC2 and S3. Okay, S3 simple storage cloud, and EC2 elastic cloud computing, the people are using Hive only to store the data. Okay, so even Amazon are using the Apache Hive to store the information. Okay, so there are some features of the Hive. It stores schema in the database. Okay, basically it is going to store the schema into the database, and later it is going to be processed into HDFS. Okay, because it's a centralized storage. Centralized storage, on the top part of the centralized storage consists of the schema. It provides SQL type of language. Here, instead of SQL, okay, structured query language, we say HQL. Okay, what's the meaning of a HQL? Hive query language. Okay, so like same SQL what people are using in your DBMS, here we are not going to say it as a SQL, we are going to say it as a HQL. Okay, what we can say, Hive query language. Okay, so it is very familiar, fast, scalable, and very extensive. Okay, very fast, very fast kind of a language. So that's why Amazon is also using. Okay, even in a very important concept of Amazon, EC2. What's the meaning of EC2? Elastic Cloud Computing. That's a very big application in the Amazon. Amazon is having famous for two applications. One is S3 and one more is EC2. S3 people know, simple storage cloud, and EC2 is Elastic Cloud Computing. Okay, well, even the EC2 they are using Apache Hive. Okay, for the storage purpose, a centralized storage. So what is a Hive? Hive is a data warehouse. What's the meaning of a data warehouse? Data warehouse is a place where you are going to store all the data. Right, guys? So this is the architecture of the Hive. Okay, basically people can see SDFS or HBase store data storage. Okay, this is a whole architecture. If people are having user interface, web UI, Hive command line, HD Insight. Okay, Metastore. Metastore, what is the meaning of a Metastore? Again, an abstract information about the data. Okay,